Doesn't look like much, but that's what happens when you lift heavy machines with 1 or 2 forks on your tractor. That sucker got bent. Enough so that it's about 4 inches difference than the other one when they're on the trailer, on the rack that goes on. So what do? I'll show you. Well, in my case, I bought a new one. Back part of this rack also got bent up down here, and I bought a piece of metal to replace it, but then I got to thinking, I always wanted to build an I-beam coming out from my tractor with a chain hoist pulley set up on it. And instead of going to all the trouble to reconfigure that little piece in there and replace it and then buy a new fork, it was cheaper just to buy a whole new fork setup. Then I'd have this part of it to modify and put that I-beam on. So that's what I did. Now, today I want to show you how I'm going to keep my screw up from happening again. And the reason it's screwed up was I was always putting too much weight on one of the ends of these. So what I'm going to do is I bought an attachment. I planned on building one until I got to looking around, and I couldn't buy the steel in the adapter hitch here for what I paid for it showing up at the door with all the hardware. So I must admit I bought one. It seems to be pretty well made. And what this does is it slips over both ends of the forks. And then you got a 2-inch receiver. That may even be, yeah, it's a 2-inch. That you can clip all kinds of attachments, like a ball if you want to move a trailer around, or an eye if you want to pick up something like a machine from overhead. So I'm going to use this and try to not screw up again. This thing slips over the end of the forks, sort of like this. And then you take and you drill a hole through the end of each fork. So I know it's not OSHA approved, but you put a bolt in there and that keeps this from slipping off. So that's what I'm going to do today. It's probably going to be a short video because my wife has so much stuff for me to do. Lucky I get to do this. I'm going to use my Hougen mag drill. Now I bought this one because it had the feature where you could loosen up this and tilt it, move it around to get it on your hole. I found you don't use that very often, and in retrospect I should have just bought one without that feature because it just makes it heavier. And poor old Don can hardly lift it anymore. He's getting old and feeble as he is. And I ain't far behind. Let me get a chair and some glasses and we'll drill this sucker. Turn off the magnet. You can't see, I haven't ejected the core yet. And there it goes. That's the core it drilled through. Heck, you can almost make a rivet out of that. Okay, let's get lined up on this one. Use this little plunger here to find your hole and line up on it. You really don't need this part down here very much at all. I don't think I've ever used it. Turn on the magnet. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Check the alignment. Stand up so I don't get coolant in my face. Turn on the coolant and start drilling. Bob's your uncle. Get this cleaned up and out of the way. There, as you can see, that makes a nice smooth wall hole there. There's the other one over there. Now, if everything lines up, if I've done my job correctly, you slide this on. It looks like they got a couple of pins that can go through here. I have to go on the inside. Might change that so the bottom doesn't drag on it. It also comes with these little eye bolts here. They're threaded, and there's a threaded hole here where you can start that in, and I guess you could take it up a lot if you wanted to put force and make this tighter on here, but just lock it down in place is probably what I'm going to do. Probably never use those. You could hook your chain of your trailer or whatever you're bringing with that. And then you've got the receiver hitch. You take any one of these kind of receivers. Comes with the pins. You know, I got to look and I could barely buy the pins and the eye bolts for this thing for what I paid for the whole dang mess. Then put a hook, you could put a pintle hitch on it, you could do almost anything. I like a 2-inch ball on here for moving around my trailers. My trailers all have 2 5/16 inch hitches on them, couplings. But I find that with a 2-inch ball, it does what I need to do, and I don't have to get down and make sure that it's open. Yeah, if I was going anywhere with it, that'd be, but I just move them around the yard. So there I go. Instead of having this in here, I'll probably have one that I can put my slings onto. Guess you could just drop your sling right in here. That'll make a nice little addition, and I won't be tearing up my forks anymore. Thanks for watching. Here comes the wife. Better look busy. Oh, we're not going to go drag racing in your mule. Sometimes. You notice how they always smile when you're working? They see you working? Frown when you don't? All right, gotta go do stuff. Thanks for watching. Yeah.